Good evening, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Stephen Johnston. We got a wee romance going on here. Stephen, you sly dog, you. Want to keep an eye on. Anyway, good luck with that one. Let's listen to this first of all, because there's Scottish players always get it tight from the Celtic fans. But listen to this. That was Kieran Tierney after he scored his goal yesterday, but not to be outdone. Not to be outdone. And it's got to be said that anything that Kieran Tierney can do, Stevie Welsh is bound to be thinking, do you know what? I'll have some of that. Come on, Welshie! Come on! Wow, what a way! What was the better reaction? Was it Stephen Welsh's reaction to scoring, to not scoring, but to getting the win for Motherwell over Rangers, Stephen Welsh, who is the lone player from Celtic, or the reaction of James Forrest running up to the Green Brigade and doing what he's done many times over the years, bigging up the Green Brigade? I tell you one thing, Stephen Welsh is a player. He's a player that a lot of Celtic fans don't like, and he's maybe found his level at Motherwell. I'll be honest. And when you look at the reaction, you need players. I've spoke about this before at Celtic. You need players that get the club. You need players that want to everything. It means everything. And when they see that reaction for Welsh, that's not just him celebrating Motherwell winning. That's him celebrating beating Rangers. That's him celebrating Celtic being second in the league. At that point, Celtic could have almost went top if the score lines had went the right way, but it didn't. When we look at the league table tonight, it's a good weekend for Celtic. You know, playing the game first. You've got to get the result. You've got to try and score as many goals. Puts the onus on the other teams. But Hearts have got the resilience. And I've got to say, were Hearts lucky? They were playing against 9 men. Let's put the weekend into perspective. Now, I'm not going to belittle Hearts in any way, and I think that they're doing fantastic. You know, fair play to them, grinding out results. But they were playing against 9 men. That's the truth of the matter. You would expect to beat 9 men by more than a lucky back healer. That's all that they beat them for. They didn't demolish Hibernian. Right, let's put this. I've seen one of the comments up there. Hearts are winning the league. Let's put it into perspective. Hearts didn't demolish Hibs. Hearts didn't railroad Hibs. They had the possession. They didn't do much with it. Do you know, they get that goal with the back healer from Shankland. It comes off the Hibs player, ricochets off both his legs, goes past the keeper into the back of the net. It's unlucky. Do you know, any other time it would have come off the player and went out for a corner, but it went in the back of the net. Hearts were lucky to beat 9 men. Yes, they were. I'm not going to take it away from them. They're there on merit. But Celtic, talk about coming into form at the right time. Rangers were at home. They would be expecting to win their home games. Hearts were away from home. Kind of puts the onus on Hearts. Hibernian did fantastically well. Hibernian should have been 2-0 up before the goalkeeper got sent off. That changed the game, going down to 10 men. And then about 2 minutes into the second half, going down to 9 men. I don't think that Hearts would have been beaten in that game. Hibs, sorry, would have been beaten in that game if they'd managed to keep everyone on the pitch. And that's the importance of now, between now and the end of the season, is keeping everyone on the pitch, not losing your head. That's a wake-up call to all the Celtic players. There's going to be very physical games. The last game against Hearts, I think it could be a complete mayhem, because if it's all square on the last day of the season, and Celtic could win 3-0, and we don't win the league. If it still stands the way it's standing, when you look at the goal difference, Hearts are up there. They've got the 31 goals. You've got to give them credit for that. Celtic, the whole Wilfred Nancy era, it ruined us. Completely ruined us. But we're not out it yet. So let's not be too disjointed, whatever. We're still in the hunt. And when it comes to it, we're in second place with 4 games to go. 3 points off top of the table. 12 points to play for. It's not done and dusted just yet, is it? Let's jump into the comments and see what you're thinking about it today. Stephen Welsh, that celebration for Stephen Welsh was just absolutely something else. Hearts got lucky. Motherwell put Sevco in their place, and we won. That's all that matters. Who had the better... Here's the thought. Who had the better performance over the weekend? I would say Celtic. I would say when you look at the games, Rangers toiled. I watched around about 10 minutes the first half to half time of the Rangers game, and I've got to say they toiled. Ibrox was like a morgue. I don't know what it was like the second half. I never watched it. I watched the Hibs Hearts game, and I've got to say Hearts gave their all, but they still couldn't break down a resilient Hibs. And 9 men. Hibs played with the majority of a second half. They played with all of the second half with 10 men and then 9 men. They played the majority of it with 9 men. They should have. I mean, I know it's always hard to break down teams, and Hibs defended fantastically, but Hearts wasted opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Celtic are not like that. I would say that Celtic have actually got the upper hand. I think we all expected Hearts to win this weekend. The big game and the big question mark game really of the weekend was, can Rangers beat Motherwell at home? And if so, by how much? Can Motherwell keep having the success that they've had all season in chipping away at teams? It's going to be a hard game for Celtic. We've got Hibernian next weekend. That's going to be a hard game, but they're going to have a few players out. They made quite a few changes. They had to make. They've got 2 players that are going to be that were red carded in the game. Will that help Celtic any? And then when you look at the form that Dyson Maeda's in, James Forrest is in, Kieran Tierney, you've got all these important players for Celtic coming good at the right time. And that's the difference. That's the key to winning the league. Hearts have got consistency. That's all they've got. They've been able to consistently win games by the odd goal. Fair enough, if they beat Celtic on the last day of the season by the odd goal, they're champions. If that's the case, so be it. You were beaten by the better team. But I think that Celtic have got something special going on just now. And having players coming back of Alistair Johnston, we've got young Osman to come back into the team, see if he can put in a few goals. It's all looking good as far as I'm concerned, but we will get some comments in. And I feel like Maeda is back with a vengeance. And I also think we could pull this off, says Katie. I think so. I really do. I mean, I will admit, everyone, I said it publicly in December, I didn't think Celtic would get anywhere near this league. And especially after the Wilfred Nancy scenario, I thought we'll be lucky to finish second this season. But Martin O'Neill's plugged away, and there's results that Martin O'Neill should have won. Could have, should have, if of, doesn't matter. We are where we are. And it's all about Hearts fans will think that it's their title. They're on a bit of a roller coaster. They're on the final slope coming down. If it was a ski race, it's head and head. But we'll just need to wait and see. Hibs lost just two of their first team players against us. Two red cards. Yes, they did that. Good evening. Flying column saying good evening. We just need to beat Hibs. Then the pressure is on both of them again. If we win our game, we play first, and it's always good playing first. It's not going to be an easy game with only 1,400 fans at the Hibs game. And it just shows you what an atmosphere you could have at Hibs when you get the full stand behind the goals. Hearts fans getting that full stand for the derby in Edinburgh. And I'm having a little beer tonight just to celebrate. Just the one. But anyway, next up is Hibernian. Won't be easy. Can we do it? I think we can. Beautiful Sunday. It is that. Welsh was class. It was that. Stephen Johnson's feeling good. No wonder he's feeling good. I read the messages at the beginning of this chat, Stephen Johnson. Does a draw between any of them help us a bit? Celtic need to win 5 games. It's as simple as that. We're 4 games now. If Celtic win the remaining 4 games, we are champions. We beat Rangers, we beat Hearts, we beat Motherwell, we beat Hibs, we're champions. Simple as that. It's we do need someone else to take some points off of, because we need the goal difference up. I would hate to beat Hearts on the last day of the season, but then we'll lose the league on 2 or 3 silly goals. That would be devastating. There is that as it stands. If Hearts beat Rangers, if Hearts beat Motherwell, Hearts beat Falkirk, and they're still 3 points in front, and it comes to the last game of the season, and if we haven't closed the gap, we need to score 3-4 goals every game. Every game. There's no winning 1-0 for us. It's all or bust for Celtics now. It's score as many as you can. We need to close that gap when it comes to goals, because if they are still 3 points ahead of us come the final day of the season, God. I mean, I know the game in 1986 wasn't on the television live. We're going to be able to sit and watch this play out live all around the world. And I tell you one thing, I'm kind of glad that I'm not back home for it, and I'm going to be here doing a live watch along with all you lovely people. Anyway, let's jump into some more of the comments. If the Hearts, they were lucky. God bless Welshie. Yes, God bless Stephen Welsh. We need to listen to Welshie again, don't we? I'll never get fed up listening to this. That is Stephen Welsh, and some people say he's not good enough to be a Celtic player. That should maybe be a question for the end of the season. I mean, should he be back at Celtic? Hibs depleted team next week? Slightly. I mean, there are 2 players out. I don't think it make much of a difference. Hibs were poor on the ball, but fair play. They dug in. I'll be raging if we don't beat them next week. This is Mikey Boy. Hibs were resilient, and I thought that they were unlucky. They were fantastic in defending. Fantastic. But Hearts weren't great. Hearts aren't as good as Celtic going forward. We need to take that into consideration. If that was Celtic playing that game, we would be devastated only winning 1-0 with the amount of chances. I think there was at one point in the game, the stats came up that Hibs had only had 2 touches of the ball in Hearts' box, and Hibs had 50 chances at that point. There was about another 20 minutes to go in the game. But you never know. A lot of people saying good evening to Stephen Johnson. Watching Maeda from the main stand yesterday, I could see he's back for the running. Stephen, he wants to finish a winner, and I think that he knows, and he will know deep down that he's not been at his best this season. And he's an honourable guy. He will want to finish a champion. He will want to leave Celtic as a champion. And Celtic have been and done it over the years. They know how to get it over the line. They know that they need 3-0 wins. Do you know, 4 3-0 wins would win us the league. 4 3-1 wins would win us the league. It's all about getting those goals. And yesterday, it is as good as it was and as bad as it was in one perspective. You know, the first half was ugly to watch. We did get the goals in. That's Hibs crippled by suspension the players too, is it? There you go. Great to see Alistair Johnson back. We had the best weekend, says Paul. Yeah, I think we did when you look at it. Hearts will say that they've had a great weekend because they're still top of the table. They will say that that's Rangers kind of out the title race. For what they've seen, they will be confident in beating Rangers. It's going to come down to the last game of the season. It generally is. I can't see Celtic now completely just imploding. I could see Rangers falling to bits. I think the mentality of that team on show today, especially the 10-minute period that I watched in the first half, they just didn't look interested. And listening to the Rangers commentary was one of the funniest things ever. You know, they at one point in the first half, the Rangers commentary says that Rangers were playing like a pre-season friendly. Both Hearts goals were deflections. Yes, but you need lucky goals. Hearts win next weekend, and we drop points. It's curtains for us, says Flag Gollum. It's ours to win, says 74 Malta. Hibs red cards will benefit us next week, says Michelle. Maeda turning up at the best time? I think so. I think too many people are looking into other scenarios. We shouldn't really be worried about what Hearts do, because it doesn't matter unless Hearts go out and win 4-0. But Hearts haven't won by big scorelines all season. You know, they've got 1-0 wins. They've scored late on in games. I keep on saying, I'll go back to December. Hearts were consistent then. They've been kind of consistent ever since. I mean, they've lost 7. They lost 5 games and they've drawn 7. They were lucky to have not another draw today. If they had another draw today, it would be fantastic for us. When you look at us, I mean, we've drawn 4, we've lost 8 games. I've never seen a team in recent history that's won the league having lost 4, drawn 4 and lost 8 games. But Celtic could be on the verge of doing that. We Osmond with DBL back next week. We're no dropping points. A couple of people saying Forest Crossing could have been better yesterday, but glad we got the 3 points. Jambos are the new Huns. They're just smaller versions. But yeah. Players coming back for injury. Other players having a wee bit of form and accumulating goals and points. Let's go Celtic, says Pablo. That's me. That's the way that I'm thinking. You know, it's hitting form. It's not just hitting form at the right time. We've struggled to score goals at the right time. And I think that if we go into, say we go into the Hibs game, if we win that 3-0, takes us 3 goals closer to Hearts. It could be the case that Hearts keep on winning, we keep on winning, and it comes down to the last game of the season. I think before we get to that game, it's imperative that we beat Hibs by at least 2 goals. I would say 3. It's imperative that we beat Rangers. We're due to give Rangers a scudding. The way that our team are playing, hopefully with no Rangers fans at the ground, it will give us a massive boost. Their players won't cope with it. And if the atmosphere is anything like it was yesterday, I think that there's only one winner in the derby game, and it's Celtic. Getting beat by Motherwell at home at this stage of the season is not league winning performance. You've got to say that. And especially with the away games that they've got coming up. Martin O'Neill tried every sort of combo possible he could have. It's been nervy to watch, but fair play to him, says Alison. Yes, it has that. And, we will be, if we win this league, we will be indebted to Martin O'Neill like no other manager. I mean, people talk about Jock Stein, and Jock Stein, rightly so, is up there as the greatest manager because he won the Champions League. But this kind of comeback from Martin O'Neill surely puts him up there. I know that he didn't win us the Europa Cup, and that is one of his biggest regrets with Celtic, not winning the Europa Cup. And I think if he was to win this league, it would give him some solace going into his retirement again, that he answered Celtic's call at their worst moment, at the moment that they needed him. He answered the call, and no other manager. I don't think there's another manager that could have done what Martin O'Neill has done, just to get us within fighting distance with 4 games remaining. I don't think there's any manager out there that could have solidified this team, could have brought us together, and could have brought in Fozzie and worked wonders. But we'll wait and see. It's not done and dusted. I feel no pressure left now. We were joint first at one point, but we will win this league. If the Hearts and Rangers fans will be thinking Celtic are going to win the league, they know we have champions mentality. Yes, they know that we've got the experience of getting over the line, and that's what gives them the fear factor. You know, they know that we know how to win it. They can be as Hearts fans will be over the moon tonight and joyous, and rightly so. But when you were watching the Hearts game and you're watching the faces of their fans, they know that they're lucky to be in it. They know that they're and listen, if Celtic win the league and Hearts don't, Hearts will come out and say we did 100 times better than we expected this season. And it's rightly so, because what were they, 7th in the league last season or something? Build Welsh a statute now. Jesus, don't start that. Can the Huns do us a favour? No idea. Don't really care. I think it is going to come down to the Celtic Hearts game, last game of the season. We need Hearts and Rangers to draw next Monday. If they draw next Monday and we win, that would be fantastic. But I think that there will be one winner. I can't see them cancelling each other's out. But you never know. You never know. We're doing a meltdown tonight. We may try and find some of their... they'll not be live at this time of night. We might try and do some of them. Everyone ecstatic about Stephen Welsh. When Celtic win in the league on the last day of the season, they should play the video of Stephen Welsh on the screens at Celtic Park. The thing is Stephen Welsh, although he's been at Motherwell all season, he did come back to Celtic for that brief period, but he won't have played enough games to get a winner's medal. And that's the unfortunate bit for Stevie Welsh. And it's a sad part, really, because I think he's had one of the biggest impacts on our season so far. And people will always remember that reaction of Stephen Welsh. I mean, that in years to come, that reaction will become absolutely legendary. And it's just a shame that he's not going to be here. And especially if he decides to move on in the summer. You never know, Stephen Welsh might say, do you know what? I've loved my time at Motherwell. I've found myself playing week in, week out. He maybe just go, do you know what? I might just, if a right offer comes in, I'd like to go. And you wouldn't begrudge Stevie Welsh that, do you know? Unless it's the Motherwell manager that comes in and he goes, I want Stevie Welsh to stay. You never know. Chilpel said, I've said all along that we're winning this league. You have done that, mate. Hearts have some amount of luck. Motherwell played them off the park. They got nothing. Hibs leading. They get two men sent off and another late goal. Luck is on their side. I don't think that they can ride their luck for so long, but that you've got to make your own luck. And I think that Celtic are in a position where we're making our own luck. We are making things happen for us. You know, you can't keep on relying on late goals, deflections. You know, you've got to be better than that. McInnes will know that you've got to be better than that. He's a manager that's came so close with Aberdeen over taking Celtic to finals at Hampden and just not getting there at the last minute. It's going to be so funny when we win the league on the last day of the season. Honestly, you're going to have him going, the big bags under his eyes. He's got to be like, if I was him, I'd just sack Scottish football and go and get a job somewhere else. I'd be on the phone to my agent and saying, I can't take much more of this, getting beat by Celtic at the last hurdle. It's go and get me a job down south or something. I don't know, Barbados or something. Bugger it, I'm done. Oh, it's going to be fantastic, honestly. 4 games to go. We are shite, but the Rangers are worse. They've spent 40 million on the new Davies and Whites. Hearts will drop points at Motherwell. If Motherwell and Stephen Welsh are the team that ultimately assist Celtic, and there's a big question I've not asked yet. Why was Peter Lawwell at that game today? If he's retired. Remember that Peter Lawwell said that he was retiring when he left Celtic. But he was there with a former English manager that's now that's doing a lot of scouting stuff. Who was he there looking at? And were they looking at players for Celtic? That's the big decision. The club who already wins the league. We can't let Tav leave with a trophy. He's not winning a trophy. Hearts were struggling to score against 9 men for some time. Yes, they were. And let's not take that away from Hibs today. Don't know, and the inability. I think that Celtic would have scored more goals. When you look at some of the chances, the wild chances that Hearts had today from away outside the box and that would go nowhere, I think that Celtic are more clinical in those situations. And I think that that's what it'll come down to. We need to beat Hibs 10-0. I don't think we need to beat them that much, but you never know. I thought Hibs were going to hold on, so did I. I was dying for them to hold on. Have we even lost 8 games in a season and win the league? No, we've not. Generally, you never lose or draw the amount of games that we've dropped points in. And this is what it will make it even more phenomenal. The fact that we've lost 8 games and we've drawn 4, that's 12 games that we've dropped points in. I don't think that there's ever been a time in recent... I mean, I think you'd have to go back to Ronnie. I can't even remember how many we dropped under Ronnie Dyler. I don't think it was that many. But we don't have any finishers. Well, we do. You know, you've got Kieran Tierney that can hit a ball for distance. You've got Callum McGregor that can hit a ball for distance. You've got Dyson Maida coming onto a game. You've got Iniacho who could tap the ball into the back of the net. You've got Alistair Johnson who's come back. He can score a goal for distance. You've got Benji Negrin that scored 19 goals this season, and the majority of them haven't been tap-ins. There's plenty of people to finish the ball. We just need to get the chances up, and that'll do it. Motherwell will pump Hearts and all, says Pablo. I strongly believe Forrest is more impactful as a sub, says Celts for life. If we do, then God bless you, Martin. I tell you, if we win the league on the last day of the season, you'll see a grown man break down in tears on the telly because I'd just be like, the emotion would just overflow that day. Johnson was on the pitch yesterday. He was doing his trademark overlap. Badly missed that. Yes, we have that. Less possession football. Sometimes you need it. No, I would say the game lacked possession football. The first 20 minutes of the game yesterday, it was manic. It was all over the place. And once Celtic settled down and started stringing passes together, what you mean is don't revert back to 3 or 4 touches on the ball, Brendan Rodgers style. Keep it to the one touch pass, the fast moving stuff, but keep possession of the ball. When we retain the possession and we're taking meandering up the pitch and taking 3-4 steps by Trusty, and then Trusty gives it to Liam Scales, and then Liam Scales takes 2 or 3 steps and then turns and then looks and then turns and then passes the ball backward again. That's the issue at Celtic, not the possession place where we're passing it about fast and we're trying to change the point of attack, as Brendan Rodgers used to say. I actually think Hearts winning is not a bad thing. It's a huge blow to Rangers in the big picture. I think it's a massive blow to Rangers. They lost. Hearts are the big winners this weekend, says Stephen. Are they? A lucky win? Last minute goal? I think you need to look at who. Well, here's another question for you. Who had the better performances? Who had the better performance? Out of the 3 teams that won, I mean, Motherwell were playing some fantastic football. It was straight off the training pitch stuff. When I was watching them, the 10 minutes that I watched them in the first half, you could tell it was straight off the training pitch because it was pinpoint passing. They knew where the players were meant to be. Everyone was in the right position. And Jens brings a fantastic style of football to Motherwell. Celtic, pace, speed for the first minute to the 90th minute, keep on pressing, closing down, all the attributes that make champions was fantastic. Hearts, possession, did not a lot with it. Let's the truth be said. Hearts were camped in on the box, never had a lot of clear chances. Wasted quite a lot of opportunities in front of goal. So I think, obviously through my green tinted specs, as some people will say, that Celtic had the better performance over the weekend. So it's maybe not who were the big winners of the weekend. If it was the case, who was the big winners? I would say that Celtic were the big winners because they scored the 3 goals. You could take that one. When the sun is out, Celtic come alive. Ooh. Celtic were the biggest winners of the weekend. Celtic for a double. If we do that, we have to rename a stand as the Martin O'Neill stand. In his whilst he's alive, don't do it once he's popped his clogs. Do it now. I've always believed that the Lennoxtown facility should be named after Tommy Burns, because Tommy Burns knew he bled Celtic through and through, and that's what you want players to do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Barrowfield could be called the Tommy Burns Training Academy. I don't know, but the women play there and they may take umbrance to that because it's the Tommy Burns. Why is it no women? Modern equal rights stuff for women and all that palaver. But you get what I mean. It's no disrespect to the women's game, but they would maybe be a bit of, it's the women's place. Why does it need to be called the men? Anyway, who cares about that? Hearts winning the derby away to Hibs is a better result than us beating Falkirk at home. We could win all our games and still lose on goal difference to Hearts. We need them to drop points. We don't really, because if Celtic win, we could score 9 goals in the next 3 games. Hearts are only winning by 1-0. If we score 9 goals and don't concede, that puts us in and around a better goal difference than them coming to the last game of the season. That's where it gets interesting. We've got 3 games to score 5 goals or more and not concede. That's all we need. as it stands, do you know, Hearts could go out and maybe win a couple of games 2 or 3-0. But as it stands, if Hearts keep on winning 1-0, we just need to win 3-4-0. Next, can it be done? I think so. But we'll wait and see. Good Eisen, he was like a wee carpet flea yesterday. Rapid. I've never seen a carpet flea in action. Listen, so go for the meltdown, people are saying. Go for the meltdown. I'm jumping through the comments. If Hearts win the league, it hurts Rangers more than it hurts us. They invested 40 million into this season. It's going to take a big chunk of cash to recoup that, isn't it, if they're not in Europe? Performance matters. But we need Hearts to drop points before we play them. Peter Lawwell was at the Hibs game. Yes, he was that. It's down there. Look, right in there. It says, why was Peter Lawwell at the Hearts game? Tony Bloom wants him as director? I don't think so. Is any of their channels live that could do a little hackathon on? Do people want to do a hackathon? There's quite good numbers on tonight. There's 500. Let me just try and see. Oh, we need to listen into this. Wait a minute. Let me just check this up.
Club reaction to Rangers 2, Motherwell 3. Just that you get what you deserve, and we get exactly what we deserve today. And well, I know Hearts, as we speak right now, we're losing 1-0 against 10-man Hibs, but we are, in terms of the title race, Carney, we are in third position out of 3 teams right now. Yeah, as things stand, we've dropped to third, obviously a point behind Celtic, and right now a point behind Hearts with the way that their game is currently going. Even if you look at the other fixtures, I don't think in the other games it's kind of relevant when we are in this horrific pattern right now of we are a good footballing side, game of football, and your professionalism in a game of football in terms of doing the basics instead of doing the fundamentals, none of which Rangers done. Rangers didn't have a shot on target in that first half, and Motherwell cut us open twice at ease. It was as simple as they liked. How terrible at starting games of football, and it's just the most deflating defeat at the start of this, and such a beautiful weekend. Rangers literally piss all over it. That's what they do, Rangers. You see it now. The first comment, by the way, was Ali told us this. There you go. It was. I predicted it months ago, and I don't take pleasure in that. But no, I mean, that's where managers earn their money, Carney, in terms of formation, team lineups, etc. Right now,
Wait a minute.
Game is currently going. Snookers now. We're looking for Hearts, who I don't know what the score is right now. They were 1-0 down as we last checked. I know Hibs were down to 10 men, but we're looking for Snookers. We're
looking for Snookers. Rangers are currently looking for Snookers when it comes to what the fuck? Here's a headline from Marbella to Motherwell misery. What? From Marbella to Motherwell misery. Oh, I've got to listen to this one. 2 seconds, we'll get this one up and running. Oh, Jesus.
Behind for the second game in a row, but they were hit on the break as he looked for an elusive winner, Emmanuel Longello. His ball deflected into the back of the net by Manny Fernandez, and it's Motherwell who take home all 3 points, and it's a real hammer blow to Rangers' title hopes as it stands.
Hey!
The words of the song adopted by Rangers fans over the past year or so, and I would wonder tonight what the belief level is like amongst Rangers fans about whether they can actually go on and lift this title. It's a massive blow. It's a huge blow, because this is one of those games where what the belief level. It's a massive blow. It's a huge blow, because this is one of those games where I think I said a few weeks ago that Hearts and Celtic, let's park them aside. Along stages, they did play well. Their interchange, Motherwell were popping it around. They were playing the game at their pace.
The team that we all wanted it to fall to, and they had chances, as you quite rightly pointed out, Blair. I think Tello Asgard should do better with an opportunity that falls his way. Russell Martin, they were all over the shop.
Yeah, we did say at the time, Derek, that rightly or wrongly, if it didn't pan out the way that Rangers wanted it to, going on this mid-season break was always going to be a stick to beat them with, and that's just unfortunately the nature of it, that it will be one of the things that is pointed.
Hey, George Shirley's in the house. There you go, George Shirley. Wait a minute. I need to read out John Shirley's, because he had to dig at me about no reading them out. And it's the first time he's been alive for me to read them out. But John Shirley says Stephen Welsh was that excited when Motherwell win, and he would swap players, jerseys after that game. Huns, Fuds, he Celtic. And talking about Welshie, we need to. I've lost it. Where is it? Is it there? No, it's not. We'll listen to these greeting faces just a little bit more first of all.
And that's where Rangers got a lot of joy in the first half hour of that second half, because the two of them came on and really changed the game. Chukwueze was just completely off it in the first half, rightly taken off. Majowski, it's such a tricky one with Bojan Majowski.
Right to single out Chukwueze. There was an opportunity where he slipped. I know Maurice Ross on commentary on Rangers TV saying that it looked like you had moldies on and not the correct footwear, rather than his assessment saying that there's a comment actually that came in just about the work rate in that first half from Darren. He says, stop dressing it up. We were lazy in the first half like we were entitled. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that point. It looked like
to maybe whip Majowski off, maybe take Chukwueze off after.
See.
Right, they're bored me to death. Let's just see if it could. Here's one. This one could be interesting. We'll just double that down first, and see if we can get some laughs before we finish the night. Always good to get some Hun tears at this age of the season. It's been a while since we've done this. It's been a while since we've been able to celebrate. And
I think I just said to you off air, they're probably a fair result. The Motherwell fans are still here, just in case you pick up the singing. But yeah, I'd probably say a fair result. We were much better second half, but probably got to a stage where we had to go for it. They hit on the break and they got the goal that won it. Maybe done a bit better. We can't really, we don't really get replays, so we can't see it back.
It was all about rotations and working the play properly. We just didn't react to anything. Half time, had a poor game. Asgard, poor game. Gassama, poor game. Majowski, poor game. Fullbacks couldn't get in the game. That's too many individuals having a bad game.
Ball so well. As soon as you lose that chance and they get the ball back, you're fighting for a minute and a half, 2 minutes just to even get the ball back. It's not like they were kind of turning the ball over quicker, you know, or hoofing it up, and we were attacking again. We really had to make the most of the chances.
His corner Barron comes on, probably with more defensive head on, obviously, but his poor cross straight into the goalie's arm. Couple of passes later, Motherwell get the lead. Yes, they've lost games recently. They've been in poor form, but they've still been trying to play like that. They've still had those same rotations. And if you look at what Motherwell were doing a lot, they were dragging us centrally to switch play and go wide. They were targeting Magoma. They've done their scouting on us. We looked like we didn't think Motherwell would come here and play like that, and that's so annoying.
I feel like if you just go man for man, you stop what they do. You stop the passing. You stop. If you press high, we had the two strikers, right? So from the goal kicks, they had their centre back either going to the goalkeeper or to the other centre back that was in the box. So how can the strikers not just then press straight away, and then the wingers or the Asgard and Gassama are as high as can be, and everybody's just man for man. There's no space in the middle. So
there's no space in the middle, but I know where there was plenty of space, and that was in the corridors of Ibrox. There was plenty of space in the corridors of Ibrox today. I'll just get rid of that. And this is what happened in the corridors of Ibrox. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, Welshie. Has Welshie been watching my reactions? I'm not being funny, but has Stephen Welsh been watching my reactions? Absolutely love it. Love Stephen Welsh. Underrated and hated at Celtic by some section of the fans. Underrated and hated by some section of the fans. I'm up for a rebel invasion. Are they on? Let's see if we can find them. First of all, they're not live. Who cares? We'll leave them at that. They aren't live tonight. But anyway, that has been done and dusted for this evening. It's been a fantastic weekend of football. Celtic are in and around it when it matters. 3 points off the top. Celtic got a fantastic result yesterday. Hearts, it's got to be said, they got a lucky result today, a deflection, but a win's a win, and at this stage of the season, you'll take the wins all day long. 4 games to go, Celtic are still in it. And I tell you one thing, bring it on. That's what I say. Thank you to everyone who has watched along this evening. And this one, there's been over 2,000 people on a Sunday night. That's quite good. And be 45-minute stint. I will be back first thing tomorrow morning with any Celtic news that's kicking about tomorrow morning. And then it's the start of a new week. A new week with one more to go. It's 1 week closer to the end of the season. Next weekend we will be in May. In May. And it's got to be said, that's when champions are made. Can Celtic be champions again? Can Celtic do the double? We'll soon find out. And that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.